Hey guys, I'm Fancy.
And I'm Brandy.
And this is Murder by Design. And this is just a fun night for us, guys. We're not going to talk about anything really specific. I mean, Brandy does have some things she wants to discuss, and we're going to introduce a new show that she's going to be doing. But this is just a fun night for us. Brandy, you want to tell them about the wine thing for the night, what it is tonight? Because I don't know all about it.
Yeah, I've been a wine guide with the Traveling Vineyard for 5 years or so, and there is a thing that we call "Open That Bottle" on February 27th. We kind of chit chat and kind of push to open that bottle you've been saving. It's been there for a special occasion, or you bought a few because you really liked it. And so February 27th, you kind of go in that Ron fridge or your shelf or wherever you keep it and grab a bottle and pop the top and enjoy your wine.
I've got mine.
Got mine.
So mine is a Moscato. I love sweet wine. I don't like anything really dry. I like dessert wines basically.
Yeah, they give me a headache. This here is Rialto, and it also works. Let me see if I can get it to the camera. Is a breast cancer awareness wine. $1 of every bottle they send to breast cancer awareness. So
super cool.
You know, I'm
cool.
helping a good cause, helping my good cause of really good wine, and it's a
really good wine, right?
Yeah, it's a Cabernet. So I like reds, I like whites, I like wine. I don't like the sweet stuff. And when
That's
Stella
so
comes on, Stella is supposed to be drinking a Chianti tonight, so I'm kind of excited. Of course, I'm not there with her to have any of it, but
I know. Well, this is how we have to, this is basically how we have to live our lives now. We can have wine together, but we have to do it through a Zoom. It's kind of crazy. I never thought we'd get here, but that's whatever it is.
Well, and they're even the dating apps are even doing that. I've seen they're having y'all have the same wine and they're touching glasses through the screen. I'm like, it's such a weird age. So well,
you know what? I just found I know we're starting our book of the month club, and we're gonna, we're talking about that tonight.
So excited.
I'm very excited. But you know what I found tonight, Brandy? And I'm going to look into it more. Amazon actually has book clubs on Amazon that you coordinate it on Amazon. Now they can still use our Patreon thing, but it's really crazy because you get a club and they can join and everything in there. And then you guys choose your books and everything. I had never seen that, but I was looking for a book tonight. Oh, goodness.
It's me. It wouldn't move fast enough. Hey, Ty.
Hey, girlfriend.
But yes, I didn't know they had the wine club.
I didn't either.
So,
book clubs.
Book clubs. We were on wine and went to books, and I'm totally lost,
right,
y'all.
No,
it won't be like past Friday, I promise.
I was like, well, I'm going to look at that. Because that's really interesting. Because I was looking for some serial killer book trivia stuff. So because we're doing some serial killer trivia stuff over on TikTok, and I've been doing some contests and things that I'm going to be doing with you guys. So we've got a lot of cool stuff that we're kind of working on right now. We're trying to really, I don't know. I guess we're trying to just move into what we feel is our groove. A little.
Yeah. We're wanting to reach everybody.
Yeah.
And do what we love.
Yeah. Yeah. And, a lot of our stuff, we're trying to really kind of push to the limit of getting really close to what Law and Crime does and Court TV and all of those. But some of the stuff we just want to have fun with too, like what Brandy's going to be doing and Cajun Matai is going to do. I am so excited for this. Okay. So Ty, she shows up on our podcast every week. She gives us a recipe from the area that whatever case we're discussing on the Good Wives Guide to True Crime. It's really fun. She tells us a little bit about it, and there's always a Mama Ty story that goes along with it, which are always the best, and I love it. And she gives us her French word of the day, because she's from Louisiana, Cajun. And so we were talking about doing a cooking segment on YouTube because a lot of the things that we do, they don't monetize. They demonetize everything because it's so heavy and it's so weird because I know that the people that watch our stuff are the people who buy things. So it makes no sense to me. But so we were trying to think of different things that maybe wouldn't be so heavy that we could put on there and maybe, monetize a little bit, but still have fun. And so I was looking for something for Ty to do, because we talked about her doing some lunchtime cooking and different stuff. And then I found this book, and it's Serial Killers' Last Meals. And so Ty is now going, yeah, I'm super excited. So she's going
to, I need
she's
this
got the
cookbook.
cookbook. I know, there's 2 of them. She bought both of them. She's going to pick we'll pick a serial killer. We'll talk about the serial killer a little bit while she cooks up the last meal. And then we'll put the recipe in Patreon for you guys and everything. And you'll get to see Mama Ty actually cook live. So we're pretty excited about it. She's really happy.
Exciting.
Yeah, we're really, really excited. We'll probably pre-record, but then we'll do them like premieres where you guys can still come in the chats and talk with her, because she'll be on. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about that segment for us. I think she's going to have fun with it. Ty's fun, and everybody doesn't get to see all that fun side of Ty, so I want him to check it out and have her do that. So she's really excited.
Well, what's funny is because being from the same area, well, close to, Ty and I aren't too far apart in Cajun country. And
right.
They laugh because when you get us talking fast, or when we get to talking, period, we start talking really fast.
Right.
And those words come in. It's fun. It is. And then you've got definitely fun.
And Ty definitely has a Cajun accent. I mean,
she's got really, a very thick Cajun accent.
In fact, funny story. So when we first started out doing the podcast, we were, and this was something Brandy and I kind of talked about a little bit when some of the Katie Joy people came over. When we started that podcast, we were in the thick of being harassed, and people, they would go and leave us nasty, hey Froggy, they would leave us nasty messages. They would do all kinds of crazy stuff. And so one of the actual reviews that we got over on Apple was that how dare we make fun of the Cajun, whatever, blah, blah, blah. How dare we put on fake accents? And I'm like, the woman is born and raised in Louisiana.
What fake accent are you talking about?
No, they literally thought that we were trying to pretend to be Cajun. And I'm like, nope, she's actually Cajun. She's actually from there. Like,
she's coon ass. Sorry. So am I.
I was like,
she just has that deep Louisiana Cajun accent where I just have the Southern twang accent, but we Cajun, we coon ass.
It's the funniest review. I was like, oh, that's hilarious. I laughed about that for a long time because I was like, they really think that Ty is trying to be an actress or something and put on this thing. And I'm like, if you don't know that that's a real Cajun accent, then something is wrong with you.
We laughed really hard on that review because it was like, what? Stupid. I was like,
this is the stupidest review. And she was like, they even were like, if you were making fun of certain people, you'd be glad that they wouldn't come after you. I'm like, wow, what are we doing? We're not even doing anything. It was so funny.
It was ridiculous.
All right, guys. So I'm halfway. I popped this bottle. My husband didn't get me the Primo. He didn't get me the Magnum one. He only got me the small one. So I'm gonna be through this bottle in quite a bit of time here. Not very long.
Well, we went and had crawfish today, and so I've had a couple Bloody Marys with my crawfish. And tell you what, they were some good crawfish today. We were worried because of the freeze. We really weren't sure what crawfish season was going to look like. And today was yum. It was made this girl happy. Let's just say.
We have a place like that here, and we haven't done it yet. But it's like you go and you get like it's like a boiling bag kind of thing and everything. Yeah, and I guess you can bring it home and you just open it up and it's all ready for you by the time you get home. It's pretty cool. But we haven't done it yet. I think we're going to try to do it as soon as we get settled into our new house. Thank God
There's one right down the road that's a drive-through. You drive through and tell them how much you're wanting. They bag it up and send it home with you. Yep. Yeah, this one here was at the country club. My daughter is a bartender at the little restaurant there, and they bring in things. They had a caterer come in, and this caterer is Creole Frijoles Catering, and their daughter was working with them, and on the back of her T-shirt it said child labor.
Oh wow,
it was so funny. Cute. And it was some real. I was impressed. It was good.
I worked when I was in now this was when I was in California. We worked in a little Creole Cajun both. They kind of did both. They kind of went back and forth because they cross over a lot,
Yeah.
But it was a really nice little family that was actually from down there that came and moved to California and opened up this restaurant. And I mean, it was so good. Their jambalaya was off the hook. I mean, oh my gosh. And I just loved it. And it was just like a little family. It was a very big lady in the kitchen, and she ran the whole kitchen. You know, that was grandma, you know, and the rest of them were like, you know, the servers and the managers and everything. And I happened to be a server there, and I just loved it. And it was such good food. I never got tired of it either. Like, you know, like
Never.
a lot of places when you work there as a server, you know, you're like, oh God, I don't want to eat this again, you know, but it's usually half price or free sometimes. So you're like, and you're poor. So, you know, you eat it because, you know, servers, we live on the graces of other people. So, you know,
well, and down here, it's funny. We only get crawfish between a certain period of the year to the one period of the year. So half of the year we don't get crawfish. And so when it's here, we're eating, and I haven't had it in 2 years, so I'm making up for it. Gonna make up for it.
Well, tonight is a free for all. So, Brandy does have some things like, yeah. Brandy does have some things she's going to talk about in a little bit here to introduce this new segment that she's going to do. So we just want to open up the floor. You guys can ask anything you want. So about any case, you can ask about us personally, as long as you're not getting too, you know, weird or anything. But, you know,
if it's drama filled, we aren't going to answer it.
We won't answer drama filled stuff, but we just want to have a fun night tonight.
The stuff from the past with Katie Joy, that will be that's going to be dealt with soon. Fancy and I are working on a recording to deal with that and post it, and we'll answer everybody's questions with that. Other past that, tonight's a fun night.
Yeah, tonight's a fun night. So if you have a case you want to talk about, if there's just something you'd like to know about us personally, you know, what we do for fun or anything like that, you know, you guys ask away. But I did want to show you guys something really cool. So you guys are going to get a sneak peek of some really cool merchandise that we have just come out with. So this is a special event that we're doing with Cheryl Mack McCollum from the Cold Case Research Institute at the end of March, the last weekend in March. So it's going to be Saturday night. Let me look so I make sure I don't give you the wrong date, because I don't even know what today is.
Today's the 27th.
Well, guess what? It's going to be March 27th. So exactly 1 month from now it's going to be a wine and crime event. We will be hosting it. You guys can either buy a bottle of wine, and the bottle of wine, that what happens with the bottle of wine is it's a special wine that that the winery makes for us with special labels on it with to the crime that we're actually going to talk about, which is going to be Melissa Wolfenbarger. We talked about it a little bit with Cheryl a little while ago, but so it'll have, you know, a special label for her on there, and part of the proceeds of that is going to go to helping fund the Cold Case Research Institute, because they do they just do amazing work there. So we're going to be doing that, and we're going to have some merchandise, but you can also, if you don't want to buy the bottle of wine, there'll be tickets that you can buy as well. And proceeds of that will go to them as well, part of it. But we're really excited about this. So what happens with the wine and crime, and we've talked about it a little bit before, is Cheryl comes in and she brings everything that she could possibly have in a murder box. So basically all the case files, all the evidence, all the interviews, all of that good stuff. And she presents all of that and lets you guys look through it. And this will be the very first one that any of them have ever done virtually. Now, she did do a smaller one that was virtual at CrimeCon House Arrest. And that's where I kind of got the idea for this and was like, oh my God, Cheryl, we need to do this. This is really cool. And so basically we're partnering with this winery, and part of that goes from them. Not only does it go to Cold Case Institute, but they also do a lot of charity work with wine, Drink Wine and Do Good. And so that's a lot of different charities that they fund through that. So that's another thing that you're doing if you buy the bottle of wine.
Do we know yet, Fancy, since it's going to be virtual, how are people going to look through the evidence? Just cameras like we do here?
Yeah, I think she's going to do a presentation. And so it'll be like a slideshow and things. And then also she's going to have people that are involved in the crime. So Melissa's sister and mother will be there. Some of the investigators will be there. You can ask questions, you know, so we'll do a Q&A session, the whole thing. And it's going to be, I'm not sure, somewhere between 2 and 4 hour event, just so that you guys get some good stuff. And then we
Okay.
also are going to do a bonus to it that's going to be Delphi. And I'm working with a company called Crime Door that does 3D walkthroughs of crime scenes. So they recreate the crime scenes, and you can walk through and look at everything and see all the evidence there. They have one for John Bonet too, so I'm going to see if I can get that. But for when we do the John Bonet documentary, but it's really cool. They're really an interesting company. I think it's amazing what they're doing. So they're trying to make it so that people can, see these crime scenes, and maybe especially for cold cases, maybe they'll see something that somebody else just didn't see. And that's what we're trying to do with this Wine and Crime too. So we're going to continue to do these. The first one will be March 27th. The next one we're going to do, when we talked about the Danny Stowe case, we're going to do one for Danny Stowe, where one of the new investigators that's been looking at that case is going to come on and talk, and we'll get Danny.
They got some new information on that the other day, didn't they?
Yes, Danny's son, and Danny's possibly Danny's mom might be there. Or maybe it's his wife. I can't remember which one she is. I think it's his wife, because it's Danny's son and then his wife. Yeah, it would be his wife. So we might have them on, but it's going to be a really cool event. But I wanted to show you, let me see if I can pull it up here, some of the merchandise that we created for this. And I'm really, really excited. Let me see. Chrome tab. I think it's that one. Is that it? Let's see. Let me do it. Okay, let's see if you guys can see it. Yes. Okay, great. So these are the
I love that.
Okay, they come in a couple of different styles. So this, and all different colors. There's all kinds of colors, guys, for these. I think that they're super amazing. There's a couple different styles, but I only think we have this one tonight. But let me see what the other colors are, because I can flip through them real quick. Let's see. So there's a purple.
I love that.
Here's the solid colored ones. There's also long sleeve ones. We'll have hoodies, all kinds of stuff like that. And then, so let me go over here and get to the blue.
Ty asked if we've opened up a store for our merch yet.
We are working on it. It will be on our madgingerentertainment.com. We're actually going to put it on our full website. So you'll be able to go straight to our website and check out right there with everything. And we'll have some coupon codes and things like that we're going to give away. And this is actually, some of this merchandise that we're showing now, that's going to be merchandise that you're going to get if you join at certain levels of our Patreon membership clubs. So, and there's all kinds of different cool designs. I can't even begin to tell you. I think we have maybe 20, 30 different designs so far that we've already worked up. And then look at this, in honor of our wine. Look at these. These are gorgeous,
cool.
tumblers. That's Glass of Wine, True Crime in Bed by 9. We've got the sweatpants, Wine and True Crime. This is Wine and Crime, the True Crime, #TrueCrimeWives. And then this one's really cute. I like this one. It's Dogs, Wine, and True Crime.
Oh, so my God.
We have this one.
That's my cup.
I'm going to get her to make a cat one too, just for all you cat lovers out there too. So we've got a lot of stuff that we're, bringing forward with this. I'm really excited about this merchandise. Like, super.
I love this cup. I need a link to go get this cup. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm working on it. I promise you, by the time we get to Wine and Crime, all of this will be up on our website for you guys to buy and purchase. There is all kinds. I even have one that's like, oh gosh, what does it say? It says Bundy's Taxi Service, something to die for. I mean, they're funny. Like, there's one that's like Dahmer's Diner. You'll be dying to eat here, just funny little things.
You know that somebody shared that on Facebook, that meme of Dahmer and the diner thing, and Facebook flagged them and threatened to shut their Facebook down.
So stupid.
I mean, come on. It's a stupid meme.
Right.
Get over it.
I think Diana is even working on some cutting boards that are like Dahmer, something with the eating. Like I've seen them before, and we came up with our own little version of them, and I just think they're super funny. It's not supposed to be like serious. We're
Right.
crime people. We like this stuff. Like we're morbid. We're sorry. We're morbid. What do you want from us?
We have sick sense of humor. So be it. And the noise that you're hearing is the cat playing in the bathtub that's right behind this wall. Sorry. They have something in the bathtub. That's all I can hear is ping, 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 ping.
Like, wait do you see? I'm super excited. I can't wait till you guys see all the designs we came up with. And I keep thinking of new ones every day. So I just go in and I make a new one. I send it to Diana. I'm like, here's a new one. She's like, oh my God, I love it. So we even have Ouija board cutting boards that we're going to have that Ty's going to be using when she's doing her serial killer last meal stuff. So she's going to have those, and Diana's working on like keychains. Guys, we're going to have so much stuff. It's not even funny. So I really think that you guys are going to enjoy our store, and it's just one way you guys can support us without like, having to give up, something. You guys get something in return, so. And then, like I said, if you join our Patreon membership club at certain levels, you get these things with your membership. So super awesome there. And I did want to talk about that. So Brandy and I came up with the idea, we've been doing the book of the month, but we didn't really do anything with it. So we started talking about it and deciding what we wanted to do. Now, of course, we do have our Facebook group, and it's free for everybody to get into that Facebook group. That's just the group that we have for everyone. We do have an exclusive group that if you join Patreon or our yearly membership, you get this. But was I thinking? Oh, the book of the month. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm drinking wine. You got to remember this. I'm drinking wine. So just if I say something weird or I lose my train of thought, just get me back on track. That's fine because I'm drinking wine. And we haven't had dinner yet. So the last thing I ate was like at 2:00 this afternoon. So
I grabbed cheese. That's what I'm eating.
My husband's making salmon and rice and broccolini, which is my favorite of all the vegetables.
Being so healthy over there.
I know, right? Like crazy, right? All right, guys, you're not asking any questions or anything, so we're gonna need you to participate in this.
Anyways, book of the month.
Yeah, book of the month. Okay, keep going. Brandy, you want to talk some more about it for us? Because we kind of talked about it. Or do you want me to keep going?
Well, let me.
I feel like I'm the only person. No, I just feel like I'm the only person talking, so I don't want to be like monopolizing the talking time.
Well, the other part that we come up with today, you'll have to step in on because I'm not refreshed in my brain exactly what that is. Sure. But we're going to do a book club, and what we're going to do is break the book up for so many chapters a week, and then we'll talk about it in the group. We'll do 2 YouTubes a month to talk about the book. I think we talked about at some point even having a private where we read some of the book and a live or whatever.
Yeah, that'll happen in our Patreon, because we can't do that out in the public, because then that would be, like plagiarism, and we don't want to do that. But if we do it inside of a private space where we're just reading it together, that's what we'll be doing. But let me see here if I can figure. I always have a hard time figuring out how to get to the cheers that we have. So.
But we're doing the first book we're doing is We Have Your Daughter by Paula Woodward, right? Woodward?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's a really, really big book. So that book's going to take 2 months. It's big. I didn't. Fancy kept saying it was a lot. And I'm like, it's a book. And I get the book in and it's like this thick. So yeah, it's going to take a bit.
Okay. So that stuff we're just going to do, for our regular members. Just we'll try to talk about it some. But like she said, we're going to have a book club where if you join, it's $5 a month, guys. And you can either do this or you can do the regular true crime stuff, one or the other. Or if you join at a higher level, you get both. Okay. But for $5 a month, this is what we're doing. So, first of all, we want this to be a really safe space for our fellow book lovers. So it doesn't matter if you consume books in an hour or you like to, parcel it out over a whole month. Everyone is welcome at all levels, and we want to create a fun and safe space that we can discuss these books in great detail. And since YouTube seems to get squeamish about this crap, that's why we decided we would do it with inside of our Patreon.
Will you make the cat get out of the bathroom? Sorry.
Sure, I can make the cat get out of the bathroom. So, so we're gonna, like she said, do at least 2 live discussions a month. If we do it inside of this space, though, we can actually sit down, grab a glass of wine, like we're doing tonight, and read aloud from the book and discuss it after. So you can participate in helping us select our books of the month for upcoming months. And after 3 months of being in the club, you'll receive a cool branded bookmark, and after 6 months, you'll get an exclusive true crime sticker pack. And I'm talking about one sticker. I'm talking about like a whole pack of stickers that you can put on like your laptops or whatever, all kinds of stuff. And I have stickers all over my laptops. That's just $5 a month. And then right now we have if you join in the month of March, we have a special promotion. And that is that if you join in the month of March, and you stay with us for 3 months. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So that's $15 that you spend, and you get to spend time with us talking about these books, reading these books. Then you will be entered into a drawing where we will be giving away one of our next true crime books of the month and a miniature spa at home package. So you'll get like a bath bomb and stuff like that. So it'll be really cool. And the more people that join, the bigger the package can be, the bigger the gift set is that we will be giving away. So you guys want to go ahead and get into our Patreon. Let me drop a link for you guys. And this is only for the month of March. We're going to discuss this same book for March and April, which is the book by Paula Woodward, because we're gearing up for hopefully releasing a sort of mini documentary on John Brecher in April, because there's been so much stuff that's come out. Like Brandy and I both believed, I think you believed the same thing. It was Burke for the longest time. Like, didn't you?
I was very much couldn't get past it that it had to have been Burke. For the longest time.
Right.
And
I'm not so sure.
I'm gonna tell you what, my brain was completely switched. I flipped. I don't think it was Burke anymore. Not with everything that they shared, with the evidence that's never been talked about, that wasn't released, and what, they can do that all the time, and it's not necessarily credible. But Lou Smith's reputation was stellar. He had one of the best reputations when it comes to investigative work.
He never ever lost a case in court. Never, not one time.
Yeah, and he's not one of those that did it because somebody wanted him to. He followed the evidence trail. Absolutely. And with all of that information given to me, it was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. I mean, I listened twice on the podcast, and then the documentary, and I'm like, oh, mind blown. I mean, it was out there, because just, if you haven't watched what he's done, what they've talked about, I mean, he's passed away now, but his granddaughters are doing keep continuing his mission. Watch it, and then that's we're going with that and putting our own The Good Wives spin to it, of course. But it definitely.
We're actually going to do an interview with Paula. That's one of the things that we're going to include in this. We have a CSI analyst that's going to come on and talk some about it. That's associated with Dr. Laura Patler and the LPA Association. They're an amazing crime scene analysis. They do a lot with staged crime scenes and things like that. So they're going to come on and talk. I think I'm going to try and see if I can get somebody to do some information about the autopsy, which would be Joseph Scott Morgan if he has time. If not, I'll see if somebody else can jump in. But we're going to try, and I'm actually reaching out. I reached out to the granddaughters, and they did respond, and we're waiting to see if we can hook up something. But Paula actually suggested that we talked to his daughter, who was in the special that was on 2020.
Right. I think she's the one that's leading the charge on getting the DNA tested.
Yes.
And it's not an easy process. Everybody just thinks test the DNA. Well, it's a lot more than just chicken swabs. I mean, it's very. I mean, look how long it took to just get the Golden State Killer. So, I mean, it just takes time.
It does. It takes
and time. Money, a lot of money.
Yep. Yep. So those are some of the things we're working on. I definitely, we wanted to talk about the wine and crime tonight. We wanted to talk about the John Bonet thing. And I mean, we're really excited about some of the stuff we're working on. I'm really excited, and the direction that we're moving in is super amazing. We have great team now. Stella has come on and Brandy has come back, and I can honestly say it's fun again. There was a point in time where I'll be honest, I was feeling stressed and tired and like, why am I doing this? Like, what am I
Lost the joy.
I did. I had lost the joy. I just showed up and I did the show and because I'm a professional, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show up, I'm going to do the show, and I'm going to continue to, whatever. But it just wasn't joyful anymore. I wasn't having fun. And when you guys came back, you came back and Stella came back and a couple of the other people came back. We have Chelsea back, who's one of our nurses. Jessica's come back as a nurse, and they are re-looking at the gypsy evidence because there is a lot of stuff that we just didn't get to in the podcast. So we're going to be adding some additional updates from Chelsea and Jessica and Titania on a lot of the medical stuff that we basically, I know we did like 4 episodes. I think we're done on just medical stuff in the 13 episodes. And literally, guys, those were the longest episodes, but we only grazed the surface of what is in this file. The medical
Well, we were recording the other night for the third season of the podcast, and I think we had more fun and had we had a lot of trails that we went on and giggles and looked up and was like, crap, we've been taping for 2 hours.
And we didn't finish. And that's another thing that we're going to be doing. So if you do the book club, you're just going to get the stuff about the book club. But if you go in for the $12, there's a $12 level, and that gives you both. It gives you the book club and all the true crime stuff and all kinds of cool extra stuff. You get a mug or a sticker. I can't remember which one you get. You get the sticker pack or the mug or whatever for joining. But in that, we're going to do a lot of our uncut stuff. Okay, so what you guys hear is only a very small portion of what we actually talk about. So if you ever wonder, what do they actually talk about, like in between these segments, or is there anything else that they say, or what do they really?
There was technically one part of that segment that some person who will remain unnamed unless they say it was them said, "We can't record this. This can't go anywhere." And Fancy went, "Hold on, stop record." We went on with the story, got through it, laughed, and 20 minutes later start recording again.
Right, but there is so much that doesn't actually make it into the final edit of our podcast. So if you join the Patreon, you're going to actually get that unedited version of things. Now, you may not hear something that she said where, like if somebody says, I don't want this out there, period. Okay, we're obviously not going to put that out. But our outtakes, our funny trails of conversations that take us on this tour of other things, guys, it's funny. It is. They're really funny episodes where we do that stuff. But I try to pare it down so you guys get like an hour and a half, but if you get, hey, Stella Bella. Oh, I love Stella. Oh my God, I just love her so much.
Laura's back and Stella's here. And
so you guys are going to get that in the Patreon, like the extra stuff that you don't hear necessarily on the Good Wives Guide to True Crime podcast. So you're going to get a cool stuff. And I think we're going to be putting a lot more of our longer interviews in there, because a lot of times I can't put out a 2-3 hour interview on YouTube. I mean, it's just crazy. But we do 2 and 3 hours with our guests, and a lot of times we talk about things that have nothing to do with the first case that we're talking about, but we end up on this
other cases.
And I don't always include that because it's not relevant to what we're presenting that night. So cuss words, obviously.
Absolutely. Yes
but those make it into the regular podcast anyway.
Those are on Facebook. What are you talking about? I'm gonna drop a few.
I drop an F-bomb on every once in a while. No, I drop an F-bomb all the time.
I was going to say every once in a while. What, are you lying now too? Hello.
So, yeah, right? I mean, it's like my favorite word. So, it's so versatile,
it works,
anyway. Yeah. This is so much fun. I'm having a good time. What a great way to spend a Saturday night.
Cheers.
Cheers. I love this little cup. I got this cup at freaking the dollar store. It's got these little lashes on it. It should be Stella's cup, really.
We need
It's
to
got
send
little
that to
lashes on
Stella.
it, and it says "Hello, gorgeous." I just think it's so cute. Isn't it adorable? So, guys, I need to know: have you guys checked out the new Lipstick Lashes in Live intro? Have you guys checked it out? Because I think it's pretty cool.
So cute.
I worked on that for several days. Through my I swear to God, there was days where I was just like, I can't do any more on this, and I would just put it away because it was a lot. But I learned how to do all that, and I'm really excited and proud of it. And I think that it's really representative of what Stella does. And I'm working on some other ones for Brandy's new show. And speaking of which, Brandy, I know you missed our Friday show, but why don't we go ahead and do that tonight since we didn't get to do it yesterday?
Okay. So on Friday afternoons, I think 2-3 o'clock, I'm still trying to make sure the time works because we also have our show at 7-8 o'clock on Friday night. I will be coming and doing a recap on what's going on in that week of true crime, all the cases that we follow, stuff that just happens, different things like that. And I'm also going to try to throw in there a true crime history case, something that's happened in that specific time frame in the past. And it's been fun, and I had a lot of fun working for this week. And I'm going to tell you what: anytime Letitia Stout has got court cases, you got content. Y'all want to the screenshots I have just for hers.
I'm sorry. I know it's not
had I gone to court with them, and it was what is his name? Hold on, let me pull his name up because I want to make sure that ain't the F that I need. I want to make sure I have the right name and give the right credit. Spencer Wilson. He was in court there physically. Al Stock was in the court. He said there were like 5 people there. Had I been in that area with them, I don't know that I could have kept a straight face.
Are you saying that you would have been thrown out for contempt?
I would have. They would have thrown me out for disrupting court because I would have laughed and called her a stupid bitch.
And it's not funny. Like, it's funny.
It's not.
It's funny.
It's funny because she's ridiculous.
But what happened to poor Gannon? Absolutely not funny. Absolutely.
And in the end,
funny.
Simply my opinion. # my opinion. This crazy psycho, you know what, is only doing this to get it out and Landon and torture those other children, including her own daughter. And I'm speechless that they even allowed it.
She's
speechless.
A psycho. I don't say that often, but she is a psycho.
She's truly scary. Truly scary. She scares me. She just, I have no words. I really have nothing nice to say when it comes to her.
Right.
And the torment that she is fixing to do on this family for this trial, there is a special place in hell for someone like that.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, real quick, Brandy, I want to show you. So I told you guys we're going to be producing my husband's YouTube cooking show. I want to show you what he made for dinner tonight. You guys see this? So that is
yum.
And that's broccolini with lemon, and then our sticky rice over here. And so that's just a regular meal that my husband makes. We were told at one point in time, one of our friends told my husband, like, you've ruined your girls. They're never going to be able to go and eat like normal people because they're going to be like, what do you mean you don't cook 3, these meals like this for? What do you mean? They're going to marry their husbands and be like, what do you mean you don't cook? That's what happens in our house. Daddy cooks, but this is kind of what we're going to be doing. I'm so excited for him. He's working on that, and eventually he's hoping to open up his own food truck. So we're super excited about it. I'm really happy. But anyway, go back to Letitia Stout now, Brandon.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to talk about her case I wasn't going to enter her spot until the very end of stuff, but I already started. Right. So let me just finish up with it because y'all, she makes my head hurt. But she had Friday morning, she had an Aguela hearing, which is a hearing that usually when the defendant is wanting to release their counsel. Sometimes it's release counsel because they want new counsel. A lot of times it's because they want to represent themselves. So they had this hearing. Let's see. And I have here, this is an opportunity for the judge to explain what the defendant's responsibility would be when representing themselves should they fire the current counsel. She will have limited resources from the library in order to learn how to build a defense. And if convicted, she will not be able to appeal based on fact of bad counsel. Lawyers go to school. Let's see. I have an undergrad for 4 years and law school for 3. And then they spend years learning how to build a case to defend their defendants. She has no idea what she's going into.
No.
There are, I think I read 30,000 pages of discovery. That is an insane amount of
But she thinks she has an ace in the hole.
Yes. And I'm going to read all that because and what I'm reading from, Spencer Wilson tweeted while he was in the court. And so I'm going to read some of his tweets, but I actually have exactly what she said from another article that just makes me, well, anyway, someone was screen sharing and so they got kicked out or got in serious trouble. Let's see. Let me find it.
While you're looking for that,
keep talking because I want to get in the right spot.
That's fine. While you're looking for that, my husband did want to let you guys know that he is on Instagram, and if you'd like to follow him, it's CJ_rocks 2017. It's amazing. No, you really, literally, guys, if you want to see pretty food, my husband makes beautiful shots of pretty food that he creates. Unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, this woman, I can't understand this woman. I just can't.
She says, "Sir, I understand that, but I am so confident in 2 pieces of evidence that no science or scientist could refute." Judge says, "Well, don't tell them to us right now." And then the judge says, "Isn't it fair to say that evidence won't come in?" And she says, "Oh, it will." Well, no, there's sometimes they come back and say they won't accept that evidence. So
doesn't matter. This is a woman that asked for an apology from America. Okay, are you serious? Right. Like serious?
Right. Well, she just, let's see. Where is that one statement? She says it might. This is her. This comes from the 9 News out there in Colorado. Letitia Stock requested that she be allowed to represent herself going forward. Judge Gregory Warner went through the number of possibilities Stout could face and if she represents herself. Stout said that she understands and still wanted to move forward. Her words were, "It might sound audacious, but I am ready to go. I'm a really good at poker." Okay, y'all, she can play poker. And you know the saying, you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. So now we got Kenny Rogers playing in my head.
Right.
I've got the winning hand and ace in the hole. Y'all. See, this woman is great news because we laugh and we think that she's an idiot. She thinks that because she's good at poker, she can come in here and win this case.
But you know what really boggles my mind is not just a month ago, wasn't it, that we were doing proceedings for whether or not she was freaking crazy enough?
Competent. Yes. It was mid-January that they come back and said, yes, she was competent enough to stand trial.
I think they made the misdiagnosis there. I think they missed it. Well, you know what they say about representing yourself. Anytime you represent yourself, you're representing a fool. So, I mean, it didn't go very well for Ted Bundy, and he actually had, law school. So,
right. Well, and she's trying to get some of the preliminary hearings, and she doesn't want the evidentiary hearing to happen. And they're like, we don't even know if that's even legal. So they have to look into. They've never had to. She doesn't want anything to happen. Nope, just go to court. Let's just go to court. Let me have my stuff, and I have an ace in the hole and 2 pieces of evidence. I'm sorry, if you have Letitia Stout, if you're listening and you have evidence that proves your innocence, give it to an attorney who has the brains and the schooling to cover your ass.
Amen, Stella. She is cray. I'm telling you, Brandy, I think she's going to pin this on her daughter. I'm sad. This is very sad, but I think she is. I think
I was thinking Al at first, but I think she's going to try to pin it on Harley. I think she's going after her.
Yeah. Because there is evidence.
Would she do it on Lana? Would she do it on the young one?
No. I think it's going to be Harley because there's evidence that Harley bought the cleanup. She bought all the stuff for the cleanup. She sent her to the store and she bought all the stuff for the cleanup, and there's evidence of that. I think she's going to pin it on her daughter, which is really freaking sad. What a shit.
She is shit. She is, like I said, there is a special place in hell for this woman. And, you know, and she's whining because she is treated different in prison. And, you know what? They're trying to protect her because somebody's going to knife her ass in prison.
Absolutely. Baby killers do not make it very fucking far.
No. Sorry. Gabriel Hernandez's mother has been tortured and she gets a beat down daily, they said.
Good for her. Good for her.
Right. So anyways, Letitia goes
next hearing. Sorry.
Letitia's next hearing is March 11th and 12th. It's a preliminary hearing. So we'll see what kind of wonderful smartness this woman has. She obviously thinks she is smarter than the world, which she has pretty much tried to say that from the beginning. And I'm sorry, if you were that damn smart, you wouldn't have been a substitute teacher.
We are empty.
Or teacher. Oh, damn.
Damn.
It's a sad day.
It is. It's so sad.
We'll see. We're going to see where this goes. This is definitely a case we're going to be following. And when this goes to trial, you know where I'm going to be. I will be watching the trial.
Where? It's in North Carolina. Is it North Carolina or is it Colorado?
No, Colorado. He was found in Florida, but they were in Colorado. He was murdered in Colorado. And so
I might have to take a trip. I'm telling you, we might need to do a road trip, Brandy.
I mean, you know, I just
it's a toss up between her and Vallow. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can go see Megan Boswell because that's just a hop, skip, and a jump into Tennessee for me. So I can do that.
Well, and I need to look into what's going on with Heidi Broussard's murderer, Megan, whatever her name is. Isn't it Megan? Whatever. The one that killed Heidi. I need to see what's going on there because that's just like 4 hours from me. And because I'd like to go for some of that trial and see what's going on because they have been very close-lipped with that case.
Yes. So same thing with the Lisa Snyder case. Been very, very tight.
Yeah. With that. You don't hear anything on hers either.
No. But a lot of that has to do with COVID.
Right. Yeah. COVID's kind of shut everything down. But so another thing that's kind of gone on in the last few weeks that caught my attention is there was an active shooter situation and oh Lord, Kate Mama's gonna get me because I never can get this name right. In Matiere, Louisiana. I never can get it right because it is spelled all kinds of crazy. A gunman, 27-year-old Joshua Jamal Williams, went to the Jefferson gun outlet store around 2:50 on February 20th. Upon entering the store, the compliance officer asked Williams to unload his weapon before entering, which when you go to any kind of shooting range, gun store, any place that has weapons, it is automatic. Your weapons must be empty when you walk in. So this wasn't a special thing. This is very common. He became very agitated, pulled his gun from his pants, and started firing. Armed and trained employees and armed permitted customers returned fire in order to eliminate the threat. A customer and one employee were killed. Williams was also killed. Williams's mother has said on Facebook that her son was murdered. 2 others were injured and are stable condition. Guys, this is a place you don't go in and fire. You don't go in and open fire in a gun store. How stupid.
Dumb.
And I'm, you know, her loss is heartbreaking, and I get it, but he was not murdered.
Wait, that needs to be part of your
Do what, Fancy?
criminal. That needs to be part of your bonehead criminals of the week.
Yeah, he's pretty much. I know I've got a couple on this one. Bonehead criminals.
That's another
But this one
segment
here,
that Brenda's
yeah,
gonna be doing.
but that one kind of caught my eye this week, and you don't go gun blazing in a gun shop in a shooting range, and just insane. But another story this week that had my attention, and this happened just right up the road for me. This is literally, my brother lived here. My kids, I believe, actually went to school with this one. And not my kids, sorry, my nephews and niece and nephews. And this happened over in Days out of Texas, Liberty County. Longdale Levine, his 28, Bonnie Tarrant, 41, called 911 after they discovered their 1-year-old girl was missing on Monday. They had laid the child down for a nap. When they returned to check on her, she was gone. After searching for the baby, they had called 911. They went searching for her, and they discovered her in the neighbor's above-ground pool. Autopsy reports are pending, and the sheriff says there are no obvious signs of trauma. Levine and Tarrant were arrested amid ongoing investigation into the toddler's death. They were booked into the Liberty County Jail on 2 misdemeanor charges of interfering with public duties and resisting arrest. So what I'm fixing to get into, you would think normally, okay, a child accidentally drowned, that's not criminal.
Right.
Hold on. CBS has stepped in, and the other 4 children, ranging from 1 month to 14, that's a lot of damn kids, in close range age, have been removed from the home. This isn't the first time that they've dealt with CPS, but those details are not released. The files on the children with CPS are sealed at this time. What appears to be an accident is being questioned because in 2015, the couple's 4-year-old son drowned in a community swimming pool in Dayton. The DA chose not to pursue charges then, so we're going to be watching this and see what comes from it. And our hearts and prayers go out to that family. It's very questionable when you have 2 children in a matter of a couple of years drowned.
Right. It reminds me of Casey Anthony, first of all, because I have a feeling that that's kind of what happened with Kaylee. I think something happened in that pool. Whether it be an accident or murder, we'll never know. But
right.
I think that happened.
Because nobody was ever honest in the beginning.
But this also reminds me of Mary Beth Tinning, who had like child after child after child die from SIDS. And it we found out that she was a Munchausen by proxy mom who was killing her kids.
Had Lacey Spears had more children, this is what we would have seen with Lacey Spears.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of Lacey Spears, I have had the book on audio that John Glatt did, My Sweet Angel, for a while.
Such a good book. I've got to finish it, but so far it's such a good book.
It's been hard to get through. I'll be honest. It's been hard to get through. I found it today at Half Price Books, and I was like, well, got to buy that one just to have, because
because I would rather have it to where I could highlight things on that one.
That's what I was just going to say. I can listen to it, and I can get it, and I can stop it and make a note, but it's much better for me when I'm doing research, which we're going to be covering the Lacey Spears case in great detail. We've already requested the records. It's just been held out by COVID. Right when we requested the letters was right when the courts went down the first time. So it's been kind of crazy, but, sorry, I'm trying to get this. I'm sorry, I'm off camera because I'm trying to eat my food while it's still warm. I haven't eaten all day. We've been packing. I told you guys we're moving, so I'm dying right now, and I didn't want to eat the food while I'm talking. So I'm very sorry, but
well, I'm just being a pig and munching on cheese while I talk. So
well, I mean, cheese is one thing. I'm eating a whole meal. But I found that today. That crazy.
And so the next case I'm going to bring up is and Mama Ty can help me here if I miss anything. I just went off the article of what I could find. But this is going to be a case that's very close for our Cajun Mama Ty. She actually knows these individuals.
Yes.
And so on New Year's 2020, authorities were called to the 200 block of Jolie Oaks Boulevard for gunshots that were reported. And I did not write the city down, but that's going to be over towards New Orleans area, I believe.
It's probably in Cutoff or Galliano. Or
I may have it further down, but I didn't write it in the first part, so I must not have seen it in the article. But earlier in the evening, Eric Thibodeau, 18, and a Cameron Jaco, 20, were in an argument. A bit later, Eric and a friend identified as Matthew Bedreau were leaving when it's reported that Cameron shot both men from behind, seriously wounding Matthew and killing Eric. Cameron fled the scene and was later arrested. This week, the grand jury indicted Cameron on first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. If convicted, he could receive mandatory life sentence. And this is a step in getting justice in Eric's family and Matthew. Ty is friends with the family, and she says that Eric is a very handsome man, sweet, kind, caring, full of life, and always willing to help when in need. Such a terrible loss to that community, and our thoughts and prayers for everyone. We're definitely going to be watching this case as it unfolds and bringing updates. Mm-hmm. It's sad when young life is taken. I mean, at 18, you have your whole life ahead of you.
It's a really strange case because he walked away. The boy walked away, both of them, and then he just came back. And then he just came back and shot him. Like,
yeah. But the problem is that's the society that we're raising now. These kids think that the answer is to shoot. You know, back when we were kids, you had a fist fight and you went on about your day. And now they're bringing guns and knives and killing each other. And this has got to stop. I'm scared for our children and the world that we're bringing them into.
I know, and I don't want them to live in a world where they have to walk through metal detectors to go to school.
Right. Like, or even having to wear bulletproof vests just to make sure nobody shoots you. I mean, and that's where we're headed.
When you think about it, I mean, think about Columbine. That was shocking. You know, that was a really hard hitting case. And those boys, what they did to that community will never be forgotten. I mean, they are scarred for life. That is, they all are just PTSD out the wazoo, you know, but this is happening everywhere. It's happening all across the board, and it's scary. It's very scary, even in good schools, even in good school districts, you know, it's happening. And so, you know,
it's starting to happen in smaller school districts. It used to be, because Columbine was a big school, and you used to think of that in the bigger school districts, but it's starting to hit smaller areas. Even Sandy Hook was an elementary school. Of course, that idiot wasn't even part of the school. He was just hateful. But, you know, it just... gun violence and gang violence and all of this among our teens and people attacking each other because of the color of their skin or who they're friends with, what their religion is. It is not okay. It's not.
It's not. And you know what? I think that it stems back to the lack of recognition of the mental health community. We are so backwards in recognizing problems and bringing these to the forefront. We just discussed this in the Conrad Roy case. We have a expert witnesses that is going to come on and talk about an experience that she's had with the suicide situation and what that's like and what it's like to deal with that. We have, you know, I've talked with the Skylar Richardsons who are, you know, they're not being paid attention to, and they're suffering from anorexia and bulimia and all these different things. The kids who like, you know, we were talking about a specific drug that's called DMT the other day, and how that works, and that it, like, basically it doesn't erase your memory, but it takes away all of your anxiety and depression and all these different things. And they're looking at that to be used in like cases with serial killers and pedophiles. And there are kids who have noticed that they are wrong. You know, they feel their emotions, the things that they're feeling are not right when they're young, and they don't get help. They don't get any help. They try and they try. I mean, if you have never watched Evil Lives Here, let me tell you, that is a show that should be on every poster board for freaking mental health help ever, because a lot of those cases are cases where they started out young and parents tried to get help and got no help. And so that is happening all over. But I also believe that right now, this society of kids, we're living in such an entitlement of, they believe that they're so, and instant gratification, entitlement and instant gratification.
And everything must be, they don't have to work for anything. And it's, we're creating monsters. We are not helping. We are not giving anybody any idea on how to cope. Kids these days do not know how to cope with stress. They do not know how to cope with change. They don't know how to have a disagreement and be okay with having a disagreement.
Right.
And in this day and time, if we disagree on politics or on religion or on our friends, then we have to end things or fight. We can't agree to disagree and move on. I like you for who you are and good to be. We want to discuss this and go on. I have a few like that on my Facebook of where it comes to political things.
Well, I have friends that I made when I was a kid that now I can't speak to them about politics, but I'm not going to stop being their friend. I mean, I've been friends with them for 20 some odd years, 30 years at this point. I'm not going to stop being their friend because I don't see eye to eye on something. I'm just going to say, you know what? We can't discuss this, guys. Okay. We can do whatever we want to do, but we can't discuss this. And that's what you do as an adult, and you move the hell on. I think the internet and all of this has breeded this bully of the keyboard, the keyboard warriors, that they can say anything they want as long as they're hiding behind a screen. They can do anything they want. And then eventually that bubbles over and creates these problems that you're talking about right here.
Well, and we've kind of talked about the keyboard warriors a few times when we're talking about true crime. Even with, let's take the Watts case. On both sides, people go at both sides of those families relentlessly. They are ruthless and they are ugly and they cross lines. I'm sorry, you don't have to agree. I don't have to like Cindy Watts. I don't have to like her and her attitude. And I don't fault her for loving her son. That is her job as a mother. Love your son, support him. I don't like what she says, but I'm not going to go tell her to go kill herself. I'm not going to call her a worthless mother. That is not okay in any form.
The other day we had that come into our own inbox. Now, when we were going through the thick of things, it happened all the time. But the other day, somebody
on Instagram
inbox, and said, "Your channel is shit. You should kill yourself." What? Like, who thinks that that's okay to say to another human being? We're going to get in this Monday night too. Brandy will be joining us on our Crime of the Month with me and Stella.
Mental health is a big thing for me. It is something I have
for all of us on the team. All of us.
I have really pushed to be a voice for mental health and mental health awareness and mental health for veterans and things like that.
Yes.
They don't get what they need and they are overlooked, and then we have people hurting themselves and other people because of it.
Yes.
What is the answer? I don't know that I have it. I don't know, but it's not what we're doing.
Definitely not what we're doing.
We ignored it for years, and now we just throw candy at it, pretty much. And
well, I've shared this a million times that I was at one point in time on 9 different medications for anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorder. Not because I needed 9. Because every time I went in, and I said, well, this isn't doing this.
They throw medicine at you.
They just throw another medicine at me, and they never took me off of any. They never said, well, okay, so that's not working. So let's go ahead and switch you over.
When it comes to medications, the problem is the medicine companies send their reps out. The reps go in and talk to these doctors. If the doctors prescribe certain medications, they get money from it. So what do? They don't pay attention to the side effects. They don't listen to you having issues that are related to this drug and say, okay, this isn't working for you. Let's try this. They just keep giving it to you. They put me on one back in 2003. I think it was 2003. And it was a fairly new drug. And they put me on it. And I gained 40 pounds in 3 weeks. And I'm like,
what I went through.
I literally had nothing to fit. I was having to wear sweatpants. And I went in to the doctor and they weren't doing anything about it. And so I switched doctors because I'm like, I don't feel good. I feel, and I was just ballooning. And they were like, the psychiatrist looked at the medication and she looked at me and she's listening and she said, why did they put you on this? And I went, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. She said the one main study on this is that with women, it has rapid weight gain. And she said, it makes no sense to me that you would put a woman who's fighting depression on a medication that's going to make her gain weight to make the depression worse. She was like, that makes no sense.
Every single one of the medications that I had on a side effect was severe weight gain.
Most of them do.
So I lost my mom when we lived most of my life I lived in California. We moved to Arizona because when we were raising our little babies, it was just too expensive to live in California. So we moved to Arizona with some, we some of our friends had moved up there, and she's like, look, I've been able to do all this stuff. I've paid off my car. I've paid off all this debt. We have a house now. You should really come here. So we did. And that's where, my mom passed away. So I hit my height of my depression at that point. And I needed to
Can you
move.
hear
I
that
had
noise?
no.
Okay, good. The dog's snoring.
Oh God. My dog does that all the time. It's hilarious. So we moved from, I needed to get away. I didn't want to be where in the house that my mom had passed away in. She didn't pass away in the house. She went into she had her stroke, miniature stroke. She had strokes and then several miniature strokes, and she never woke up. But all that started in that house, and so I wanted to get away from that house. And I moved here. I was on 2 medications when I got here, and one of them was making my heart race constantly. So they sent me to get different medication. And by the time we were done, I was on 9 different ones, and I gained in 1 year. I went from being 105 pounds to 197 pounds. I am 5'2". I have never weighed more than 110 pounds in my entire life, other than being pregnant. And the biggest I ever got with being pregnant was 125 pounds. That's it. I was tiny. For until my senior year, I weighed 75 pounds. Like, I was teeny. That weight was horrible. I went from, and like you said, it was over freaking
Yeah.
night. I went from being a 2 to 4 to being a 14 and nothing in between. I don't have 10s and 8s and 12s. I do now that I've been buying stuff because I've been losing weight now that they finally figured out that I have, fibromyalgia, and I have some sort of autoimmune disorder they're trying to work with. But I literally gained almost 97. I think it was a total of 87 pounds was what I ended up at. So I think I was 110 when I got here, 87 pounds. 87 pounds. I'm thankful that I never hit over 200 because I think that would have devastated me. But like you said, how do you put a woman who tells you I'm dealing with anxiety, depression, and whatever, and go, yeah, let's give you 9 medicines that are going to make you huge? Like, what?
Yeah.
How is that going to help her?
Yeah, there's something's got to give in the medical field or in the
Absolutely.
pharmacy field, pharmaceutical part of it, because they just throw drugs at people, and
Always.
I'm not one that can handle them. That is one thing we have discovered. My body doesn't process. I may do really good for a couple of weeks, and the next thing I know, I'm either overdosing on it, and I'm taking the same dose that I've been taking all this time, or it's not working at all. So
Brandy, are you a natural redhead?
Yes.
That's why. Look it up. That's why. Redheads do not process medicine the same way as other. It's something to do with the makeup of what makes our hair red.
They have said it has to do with the fact that I had thyroid cancer. Is one. So it could be both. Of course, I didn't. I mean, of course, back then I didn't have thyroid
because
issues,
every drug that they've ever told me was going to do something, it did absolutely not the thing that they told me it was going to do.
Well, just like the other night, because I was in so much pain, I took pain medication that I've been taking, and I've been okay. Well, I was sick as a dog the other night, and it's like, and Dave was worried. I'm like, it's just my body. It's just doing it. I'm just going to go to bed. It is. I can't do medications. I'm very cautious about it because I never know. One time when they put me on medications, I mean, I took what they read the bottle. It said take one, so I took one, totally out. And my mother-in-law was like, "What is wrong with her? She's overdosing on purpose, and she did this on purpose." I'm like, I took what it said one. I took one pill, and we went to the doctor the next day because I was zonked for 24 hours, just zombied, drooling. I mean, there was nobody home. And he's looking at things. He's checking things out. He did my blood work. Come back and he's like, well, I can tell you that if she ever gets charged with drug charges for being a drug head, I can go to court and say, not her, because she would have died. Because she doesn't process medications. He's like, so technically, he said, just a word of advice, if you ever do hard drugs, just know that what doesn't normally affect people may affect you.
Well,
And
that's what happened to
so,
me the other night when I got sick the other night. Went to the hospital because we thought there might have been something wrong with my gallbladder and everything. I didn't think there was something wrong with my gallbladder. I knew that it was a migraine headache that causes me to vomit and have other problems. That's what's the problem. And I know exactly what I need them to do. I can go in there and tell them I need this, and this, and please send me home with this. I can do that. But the darn ER doctor did an MRI and was like, I think it's your gallbladder. So I got admitted to the hospital. And I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. And so they were giving me morphine through my IV. And
I love morphine.
I did too. Don't get me wrong. I felt
Love
amazing.
morphine.
Okay. I felt amazing. And then on top of that, they were doing the type, the whatever it was they were giving me for nausea. I felt amazing. I slept. Okay. I don't sleep, guys. I have insomnia. If I sleep maybe 3 to 4 hours a night, that is my long nights of sleeping. Okay. I get about an hour and a half to 2 hours maximum. And that's one of the things they used to tell me with all the medications they give me for anxiety and depression, all that. Well, this is going to make you sleep. I'm like, oh, you're so funny. That's not going to happen. And it never did. But what would happen is I would go to sleep and then I would get into this like deep sleep and I would wake up and I would do things and not know that I would do things. And the day that I decided I wasn't going to do this anymore was a day that I drove my kids to school, got home, and ended up in my driveway and had no idea how I got there or where I had been. And I called my doctor that day and I said, never again, I'm getting off this stuff. And he's like, well, I don't recommend it. Well, I don't give a shit. I don't care because I would rather suffer my entire life.
Depakote was that way for me. Depakote did it for me. I was cooking dinner, passed smooth out standing up.
I used to be that like that way with NyQuil. And I'm like, if I took the liquid NyQuil when I was younger, I would literally, it was so funny. People used to make fun of it. My friends used to be like, okay, you're going to take this. You need to be lying down when you take it. Because within minutes, I would just pass out because I was so little and it just hit me so wrong. But anyway, okay, so I was in the hospital and they were giving me the morphine and everything through the IV, which is a whole nother mess of a heck of a thing that happened with that. I ended up checking myself out because I was so pissed off, which I was fine and I didn't have anything going with my gallbladder, just so you guys know. But they were giving it to me, and what was happening was at the dosage they were giving, and they weren't even giving me a high dosage, it would immediately send me into almost comatose blood pressure levels. I was hitting like 88/20. You're supposed to be at like 100/60. So then what they would have to do after giving me this medicine was then like cycle my fluids through me as quickly as possible and put it on like this fast going through the IV to wake me back, to put my blood pressure back up. And they kept doing this. And I was like, I can't do this. You guys can't keep putting me into like this almost coma state. My God, how long is this going to happen? And that's one of the reasons why I checked myself out, because I was like, I can't do this. But that's how my body was reacting to just it. And she said, there is no reason that this should be happening. I am giving you the correct dosage for your height and body weight and for what you are experiencing. You should not be. Yes, you should fall asleep. Yes, you should be restful, but your blood pressure should not be bottoming out at this, And so she said, I can't do this anymore. You're right. We can't keep giving you this. We're going to have to find something else. I'm going to have to call the doctor and find something else. But I mean, and that's just the way my body reacts to things. I'm just like you, Brandy. I can take Tylenol and Advil and all of that. The day is long. It doesn't touch any pain for me. Nothing. It does nothing for me. My husband laughs.
For me, Benadryl. If I take Benadryl, I'm out 12 hours minimum.
That's one that does work for me. That is one that I actually react the right way to Benadryl. Nothing else but Benadryl. Yeah. Anyway, okay, go back to your cases. We've gotten off track, but that's what we're supposed to do tonight. So
another bunny trail. So Larry Nassar, right? In the case with Larry Nassar and the gymnast and all of that.
Yes.
So there was another case that come up this week. And it was the former U.S. Olympic coach, John Gaiter. That's how you say his name. Gaiter. Geddert. Gaiter.
Yeah.
Something like that. He has ties to the sports doctor, Larry Nassar. He was charged this week on 24 charges, ranging from sexual assault, human trafficking, and running a criminal enterprise. He's been accused of turning his gym into a hub of human trafficking, allegedly coercing girls to train and abusing them. He was due in court this week, but instead of being arrested and transported, because he knew the charges were happening, so instead of showing up with the warrant and arresting them like they do with most people, they just talked to him, and he was supposed to drive to court and turn himself in. Why? Because he had money. It's just, Anyway, sorry, whole nother tangent
No,
there.
I agree. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. The deck is definitely
So
stacked in the rich's favor.
he, as he was driving, they found him dead along Interstate 96. It was apparent suicide. His choice to take his own life speaks volumes for his guilt and innocence. I feel for his family and his guilt, and I feel his family and what they are going through. But if you know what, he's guilty, and he's of what he's accused of, then he robbed the girls of so much more with the chicken shit way out.
When that case broke the first time with the doctor, that was the, you know, the physical therapy doctor, I guess was what he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Something
knew.
like that, yeah.
I knew that there was more. I knew that there was more people involved.
I don't think they're
at the
through.
very beginning. I don't think
I
so
don't think
either.
they're through.
I think it's going to be a very large ring, and it's going to be simple. It's going to be comparative to probably the Epstein files, you know,
Yeah.
when they're done. Because I
Did you
believe that
see
this is,
the court cam case with the one dad asked the judge for 5 minutes with Larry Nasser?
yes, yes, yep.
Just 5 minutes, judge. Just 2 minutes, judge. And then he just
Well,
goes after him.
those girls were so brave when they went up there and
They
told what
were.
he. I just
And
unbelievable brave.
that daddy was
Mhm.
broken with what he felt guilty for putting his children through that. And because you
Yeah.
protect your children, and when you
Mhm.
do things where you think that they're supposed to be safe because you trust other people and they're not, that guilt is heavy. And
It
as
is.
I'm gonna tell you
It
what,
is.
I that man, it's like, let
Mhm.
him beat him up. We'll just, everybody will pitch in and get him out of jail. It's all right.
Right? Can we? I'm sorry. Sometimes vigilante justice makes more sense. I'm just saying.
It
I mean, no,
does.
not
It
really.
does.
Not really. Not really. And, okay. And
I
let
try
me
not
say,
to support vigilante justice. I try, but there are times like this.
and this might be a
Let
good
a
time for
parent
us.
have their time with them.
This might be a good time for us to state the opinions of the hosts of these shows are not necessarily opinions of the company itself.
Opinion? Hashtag my opinion.
My
Just
opinion.
say it.
My opinion. I'm not saying vigilante justice should ever be taken.
But if
But
you need to, this would be the there are a few,
you know,
and there's another case that I want to talk about at some point that it's a vigilante justice case. I'm like, yeah, this one deserved it. Sorry.
I want to talk about the one in the one town where they all did it together and nobody will say anything. Like
Yeah,
they just
Ken
won't say
McElroy.
anything. It's nothing.
That's my case. Ken McElroy.
They
Yeah,
won't
that's my
say
case.
anything. Nobody is talking. They will not speak about it. It's
No,
like, nope, sorry.
the
Nope.
wife even said who it was. I mean, she even said the two men who did it. Everybody's like, no, they didn't. I didn't see nothing. They can't prove nothing on that one. And it's so funny.
When I say something about that and I'm like vigilante justice, sometimes, yeah, makes sense. It reminds me of this comedian, and he's been in a scandal. I mean, he's obviously gotten caught up in the Hollywood pedophile bull crap, and that's Louis C.K. But he does, from when he was early in his comedian career, he does this bit called of course, but maybe. And it's basically like, these situations where, of course, that's terrible that your child has this. It's of course, blah, blah, blah. But maybe, it's all these different things that he does. And there's all different things. Like he talks about nut allergies and like, if you're a freaking person, a soldier who's shooting across the lines, like, if you'd end up dead, then maybe, like, I mean, you shot at people, like, did you not expect to be shot back at? Like, and it's terrible. It's hilariously, but terrible at the same time. But it's true. Like, of course, but maybe. And in the same case, like
The
this,
thing is there are consequences for
like,
our actions. There's just consequences for your actions.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to act like a fool,
everything you do,
at some point, that's going to catch up with you. Karma is a bitch, and it happens. And, just because it happens at the hands of 30 people standing around your truck, I mean,
Right. Well, I mean, he probably did himself a service because, like I said before earlier, people who go to jail that hurt little babies don't necessarily make it through. And I'm not saying that's right, and I'm not saying that's wrong.
But they're also on this one, because of all the people tied into this, conspiracy part.
Have you seen?
He could have been murdered.
Have you seen that there is this case? I don't remember where it was. I just saw it briefly and I was like, there is a lifer in prison and he has taken out 2 or 3 different
Yes.
Yes, I thought that was
Different
so
pedophiles. He's already
pedophiles.
in there
Yeah.
for
He's like,
and
"I'm in
he's
here for
like, he's
life. What
already
the
in there
hell
for
does
life.
it matter?" Yeah. He's like, "What does
I
it
think he's
matter?
taking out
I ain't
3.
got nothing
I
to
think
lose."
he's at 3
Yeah.
now,
He's
2
like,
or 3.
I ain't got nothing to lose. Tack on the years. I don't care. I'm here
He's
for
like, give
life
me,
anyway.
and
He's like, "I'm
it's
gonna
just
take
like,
out as many as I can before I leave." And I'm like,
from what I understand, his prison fund for his commissary fund is like people just keep sending money.
"Yes, have anything you want. Just take those fuckers
Yeah,
out." You know, like,
there you go.
again,
It's
I'm not justifying it. I'm not condoning it, but
but it's
when
funny.
you hurt children, I don't believe that you
Yeah,
have the right to continue living on this earth. I don't. I believe that those kind of kids, that's where I believe that the death penalty is 100% warranted. And I believe that it's even warranted to me, and I know this is controversial, but in my opinion, the people who even hurt children, that don't even kill these children but hurt them, molest them, whatever it is that they do, you know, that's even worse than killing a child, because now you're leaving that child dead inside for the rest of their life. It is scarring for the rest of their life. And that is worse than that is a fate worse than death. So how are you allowed to walk this earth and breathe clean air and eat 3 meals and have a cot when that little baby is gone? You've destroyed a family and you've taken a precious life.
we'll
And if
just put
you've
him in the
left
prison with
one,
this other dude. He'll take care of
well,
them.
take care of them. No, Your Honor, we don't need it. We don't need an electric chair, or we don't need to
Just
research
put him
those.
in with so and so.
So, and
We're
he'll
gonna
take
ask
care of
maybe
it.
sent to this prison.
Save us a hell of a lot of money. No,
You
I
know.
know it's not nice. It's
Well, I
not
mean,
nice what we're saying, but
that's what happened with Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, those inmates took him out,
yeah.
and
Now,
it
Dahmer,
happens. They
I believe there's a lot we revealed in the Dahmer lives that we did Crime of the Month on Dahmer. Stephen David Lampley has a lot of information about Dahmer that a lot of people haven't heard, and we did an interview with him about it. Um, Dahmer is an interesting case, and he's one of the ones that didn't understand why he was doing what he was doing and hoped that they would catch him, but didn't know how to
I think he
stop
was ready to
himself.
die. I think
Yeah,
he was ready to die.
yeah. He
I
didn't want to
do.
live
I've
like that
always
anymore.
thought that.
He didn't
Mm-mm.
want to live like that anymore. He was a tortured soul, and that can be tied back to what they believe had to do with a surgery that he had at 5 years old. They said he was a wonderful, lovely child before he went in, and when he came out, he was a changed child, completely different personality, very angry. Um, and just they saw the signs, but they just thought that he would grow out of it eventually because they thought maybe it was just a reaction of some sort. Mm-mm. And so he's an interesting case, that the
He
Dahmer.
is.
I think
He's
he's
always been
very.
one that fascinated me.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
another case this week that I actually didn't know anything about. We actually
Hmm.
streamed the court proceedings on our channel,
We did.
and
We
then
did,
I
but
talked to a
yeah.
friend of mine.
Well, I had to take them down because I got messed up in streaming them, but I am working on, now that it's concluded and everything, I am working on getting them back up, guys, so that you guys
Okay,
can
so
have
we're
the
not allowed
full.
to stream them when they're live like that.
No, I can. But
Oh, okay.
what happened was is because of my life being crazy this week, I missed several hours of days. And so I took them down because I didn't want it to be confusing. A part of day 1 is back up there, and I'm going to continue to keep releasing the rest of it. We will be streaming court cases from now on when they're out, when we could get a hold of them. In fact, there's a pretty popular one coming up in on the 8th of March that I'm going to talk about when we get to the end of this. But yeah, go ahead with this case. So I just want to let everybody know,
But
don't go looking for them because I don't have them up right now. So
this and then we had a friend of ours. I'm not going to mention her name. She's not ready for that to come out yet. Messaged me and Fancy, and she was at court because she knows the family. This was
right.
a friend of hers,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to talk to us some more later
Okay.
when they're ready. They're not quite ready. It's a very disturbing thing for the family. But that's the hold on. Let me get this name right because this is a hell of a name. Prokopowitz. Prokopowitz.
Mm-hmm. James
Prokopowitz. It
Prokovovitz.
is a mouthful of a name. Over
Yes.
in Wisconsin, in 2013, Victoria Prokopowitz disappeared. Her husband, James, said they went to bed. She was there. He woke up. She was gone. Her cell phone was there. Her purse was there. Everything was there, but she's gone. He tells the son, I don't know where your mom's at. She's gone. Goes to work, acts normal, doesn't tell anybody at work anything's wrong, that she's missing. Goes home, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, she's still not there, calls cops. Well, when they're doing the search for this woman, he tells them, I don't know what you're worried about, it's a waste of time. She's run off on her own. She's committed suicide, or she's done this, or she's done that. He didn't want them looking for her.
That infuriated me, by the way, in the court case. Let me tell you, and we'll get to that in a
minute. Now there is evidence that she's been treated for depression and previous suicide attempts, but no evidence that supported that's what happened in 2013. But it was with a doctor and things in the past. There were reports of domestic violence and things going on and trouble at home. So what the prosecutors believe is that James killed Victoria in order to be with an old girlfriend, Kathy Friday. Both claim to have reconnected after Victoria's disappearance, but that was bullshit. Right. Even in court in 2019, that was their story. They go to court, they're like, no, we connected afterwards, and then, we're friends, and da-da-da-da. And then they leave court, and then they go make statements and sign the statements and say, nah, we lied. This has been going on. Things that make you go hum.
That case is infuriating.
They charged both of them with perjury and conspiracy to commit perjury. Kathy pled guilty, but before sentencing, she committed suicide, which is horrible. James was also charged with intentional murder for Victoria's death, even though there's no body. In 2019, James made statements that he was 100% sure she was dead and would never be found. The jury heard this interview. It was a police taped interview. They heard this and also heard him say, okay, I killed her. And then in a post-Miranda interview, he was immediately describes this as a desperate statement to save his girlfriend. The defense didn't present anything. Like, they get through and they're like, no, we're done. No witnesses, no evidence, no statements, nothing. And they shut down. And then they went into closing arguments on Thursday evening. The jury took the case Friday morning. And I don't believe they're back. I have not.
No.
Are they?
No. They are. Shortly after 8 p.m. Okay, let me hear breaking news. Shortly after 8 p.m. Saturday, so that's today, Judge William Atkinson announced the jury found James Prokopovich, 75, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide and resisting and obstructing. He was also found guilty of 2 counts of perjury before the court. So he's going to be held without bond until sentencing, which is scheduled for about 6 weeks from now. So he was found guilty of first-degree murder.
Okay, so they just did that because that's y'all's time. So that was an hour ago.
So it was just about an hour ago.
Hour and a half. Yeah. Well, there you go. That case is very intriguing to me. I had not heard anything about it until this week. So definitely hoping to get those interviews and bring those to everybody. So my true crime history that I had for this week is there was some of that was released this week, but it also happened last year. So I thought, well, it kind of works for this week and history, and it's interesting. I am pulling this case and looking because this is a like what? On February 22nd in Allegan County, Michigan, Dennis Bowman confessed to killing his 14-year-old daughter on March 11th of 1989. He claims they had an argument. Andrea was going to claim that he had molested her.
Oh, wow.
During the argument, he punched and pushed her, according to his testimony. She then fell down the stairs and died as a result of the fall. Now, he's given two statements on this. One was that she didn't make any sounds after she fell, and one is that she was moaning. So, which is true? I don't know. Pretty much, he shoved her down the stairs and she died. He also admits to dismembering her body with a machete and an axe and hiding her in the barn. When they moved, sometime later, they bought another property and moved. He went and dug her up and moved her to the new property.
Wow.
Just insane. So,
wow.
He's already serving, when he admits all this, okay, he is already serving a 2-life sentence for a 1980 rape and killing of Catherine O'Brien Doyle in Norfolk, Virginia. He was arrested in 2019 for killing Kathleen. So they arrest him in 2019. They've linked him to the 1980 murder of Kathleen. He's going through all of this. February of last year, he's like, "You better get a tape recorder. You need it." And he told his wife, "She was under your nose the whole time."
Wow.
Isn't that a winner?
That's crazy.
And so basically, he's killed 2 people in the 1980s, one of which was his daughter. And I have to wonder, because he raped this other woman, the allegations that he's saying she was claiming against him, his daughter, were they true? Or did she know about this other murder, maybe? Did she discover something?
Wow.
Makes you wonder.
Things that make you go, That is crazy. That is.
But I just thought he was so heartless to tell his wife she was under your nose the whole time. Just like, who does that?
Wow. Wow. Whew. That's some crazy cases we have this year, guys. Or this week.
And that's just in a week. That's just a week.
And that's not everything. Like,
no, there's more. Because I kept pulling stuff up. I'm like, I can't do 2 hours. I'm trying to get this like, I'm trying to do like 30 minutes. Oh my God. It's just crazy. Oh, look, our friend just sent us a message. Guilty on all charges.
Yep.
And we just pulled it up.
Yep. Something just told me that I needed to go look. Like, it just told me.
I started to say, hey, we look it up while I'm talking that way, but I didn't think about it. But because I hadn't heard anything, I'd been trying to watch and I hadn't heard anything yet. But, needless to say, with Vallow and Stalk in courts for the next year, 2 years, we should have plenty to report on.
Well, we have a doozy of a case, and we've only talked about it once, and we've kind of avoided it because I personally believe it's rather controversial and political, so I've kind of stayed away from it. But we will be live streaming the court case of the murder of George Floyd. The Dr. Derek Chauvin is going to court March 8th, so we will be streaming that live on the channel. I have not decided yet whether we will be giving any type of commentary on it or not, because there's a lot of mixed feelings on all sides of it.
I do want to hear what's said in court. I do too. I mean, I have an opinion on both sides.
I do too. I do too. And we have talked, if you haven't seen the original or interviews that we did talks with Cheryl McCollum when it first broke. We did a talk with Stephen David Lampley when it first broke. We also did a talk with Joseph Scott Morgan when it first broke. You should definitely go listen to those interviews. They're very interesting because they each give a different perspective. Cheryl speaks from a CSI and analyst point of view, but also in the fact that was where our love wins #LoveWins campaign started, was with Cheryl. We're still running that, and we are going to be doing some more stuff with that as the year unfolds, and also with Christina's Gale Force. But Cheryl gave a lot of information on that as far as what was protocol, what wasn't protocol, and what should we be doing, what needs to happen for our communities to heal and get make change. Joseph went over a lot of the autopsy that was done, and Stephen gave his perspective as not only a police officer for many, many years, but also a riot a leader. He was a team leader for the riot team. And so he spoke on many of those different things. So you guys should definitely go check those out. I'm like Brandy. I have opinions on both sides of the fence. I can make a state case for either. And I can do that with most cases, but except for Scott Peterson, I believe he's guilty as day as long. But we'll get into that again later. Brandy has reasonable doubt. You know what, Brandy?
I'm not saying he's guilty, and I'm not saying he's innocent. I say I see reasonable doubt.
I actually highly respect the reasons that you have given as to your reasonable doubt. I believe that they are well thought out ideas, and we will be discussing those again as we go into the third season, guys. We're gearing up for third season. We're going to be covering a really heavy case to come out the bat. That's going to be Chris Watts.
After we got through the other night, I didn't sleep because I was thinking on it, and I have more thoughts to go with things we talked about. And it's like you can't. Well, that is the case. You can't get it all out while you're talking. There's just so much.
That's the gypsy case. That's the gypsy case for us too. Like, we did 13 episodes, guys. We were originally planning to do 3. Then it became 6. Then it was 9. And it ended up being 13. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm just gonna say I never agreed that 3 were gonna be good. I was like, there's no way.
I was so done.
Fancy was like, no, Brandy, no, we can do 3.
That's it. I just wanted the facts and be done and out. And
we could do 3. We could have done before the murder, and afterwards. We could have done 3, but we wouldn't have given the meat of the case. We'd have given what everybody else was given.
Right. So we're going to be revisiting that case as well, because we still have shit to say that we didn't say. And every time I listen to the things on that case, I think to myself, man, why didn't I say that? I should have said that. But here's an update. I have to tell you. Ty has been communicating with Gypsy. I don't talk to Gypsy. I don't think Brandy talks to her anymore. Based on some
talked to her in July or August was the last time I talked to her.
So Ty has been communicating with her, and there are a few things that Ty has been given permission by Gypsy to share. So next week, Ty and I will be sharing portions of that, and then putting the rest of it in Patreon for you to guys go look at if you'd like to. And in our Patreon account, I mean, everything's there for you. If you just go for 1 month and you decide that that's all you wanted to see, then you'll get everything you need. And if you ever want to go back in again, you can go back in and again, pay another month and whatever. So, I mean, I'm not encouraging that. I'd love for you guys to stay for the long haul. But if really all you want is one thing, go in, get it, look at it, and be done, and that supports us in any way you can. But Gypsy has shared with her.
Hey, Rebecca. Rebecca just joined us.
Hey, Rebecca, I'm so glad to hear the justice in this case. I'm very happy to hear that it came out the way it did. I know we were concerned last night, so I'm very glad to hear that. We have some updates from Gypsy. She's going to share, she shared with Ty, and Ty is going to share with us some of the classes that Gypsy has taken and some of the things that Gypsy has done. She has written a letter of remorse, and she has written a letter to her mother as part of her healing process. And I will give my more thoughts on that when we actually bring them up and discuss them. I have it's a mixed bag of emotions, which is always what we discuss on that case. It's always a mixed bag of emotions.
But here's the thing, and this is my last letter to Gypsy, and I told her, you have to forgive yourself for your part in what happened to your mother and what happened in your life. When you finally give yourself the okay to forgive yourself, then things will move forward. It's what I told her. And I mean, and I also told her that she didn't need to worry about relationships till she fixed herself. She doesn't like that. And the thing is with Gypsy is because everybody told Gypsy what to do all of her life. She hates it first when she feels like people are telling her what to do. And I think she hasn't understood that when we're saying things, it's not that we're telling her what to do. We're trying to give her advice to help her succeed because we want Gypsy to succeed.
Succeed.
In the end,
Ultimately.
we
Right.
want her to come out, hold a job, have a family, have a happy life, go to the movies, go have dinner, go dancing, go do what 20 and 30-year-olds do. Have a life.
Go to Disney, not stuck in a freaking wheelchair, pushed around by your mom.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
yeah.
Be able to jump and play and be fun and free. And I want that for Gypsy so badly. And I have always wanted that for Gypsy. I really don't give a damn about the rest of it. And in the end, Gypsy is who she is because of Dee Dee. Period. The end for me.
Period. The end. Right. Absolutely.
And I am so happy for her to be doing the right steps to better her life.
Well, I don't know that they're all the right steps, but it is definitely a step in the right direction.
The right direction. It's better than what she was doing.
Yes, I will talk about that because, I mean, I've read the letters
Hey,
myself.
Tori.
I've read the letters myself. Tori's read the letters. Titania's read the letters, and I have some questions. Now, I'm going to say some things, you know, when I talk about it. But I am with Gypsy. I am hoping for the best and preparing for the worst with her. You know, I actually got asked this today in the bookstore I was in today because I went to Half Price Books today and I was looking in the true crime section. And right now during the pandemic, you can only have one person in the bay or one, you know, couple of people. Like your group of people can all go in the bay together, but it can only be that group, and then that group has to come out, and the next one has to go. It's rather weird, but whatever. And I was in there and I was doing something, and a guy was asking me about something, and I said, because I was taking a really long time, and I said, do you just need to grab something really quick, or are you going to be a minute? Because if you're going to just grab something really quick, I'll just step out so you can do it, because I'm a true crime podcaster and I'll be here all day looking at this crap. I'll grab every book in here and look at it and decide whether I want to take it home with me and whether it should live on my shelf or not, you know.
You're going to pull 20 books and then put 10 back and then look at those 10 and put 5 back and then walk out with 3
right,
and yeah.
Right. No, and it's so crazy. The times that I don't grab the basket is the time that I end up with 50 books in my hand that I'm going to absolutely buy. And the time that I grab a basket, I end up with 2. You know, and I'm like, what is this about? So I always grab a basket now because I'm like, that way I don't spend, don't grab 50 books. But today I got 5 or 6. Let's just say. Anyway, but he's like, oh, you have a true crime podcast? And I said, I do. And he said, well, what is the name of it? So I told him, the guy's got a true crime. He looked up, he's like, is this you? I'm like, it is. And he's like, Gypsy Rose Blanchard? I said, yeah. And he goes, what do you think on that case? I go, a lot. I said, I probably think more about it than you'll think about anything in your entire lifetime. We're the experts on that case. We have been doing that case, live, breathe, sleep, eat, drink, that case for almost 5 years now. And it's exhausting. And I can just tell you again, like we always say, nothing is as it seems. That there could not have been truer words spoken when the sheriff came out and said that. I'm telling you, he was like somewhere far in the future.
That was like the most profound statement. And honestly, I find myself using that statement in every case.
Every single time, yes. But in that case specifically, he was like, well, what do you think of Gypsy? I was like, well, blah, blah. He's like, I feel bad for that guy. I was like, don't feel bad for that guy. And he's like,
the first thing I say.
He's like, I feel bad for him. I said, I see you have a little girl standing right here. He said, yes. I said, you should be very happy that he is never going to live anywhere near that little girl. Okay. That's just what I have to say about that. And if you want to know more, then go listen to my podcast. He's like, I'm definitely going to listen to your podcast.
Usually when somebody gives me the poor Nick speech, I look at them, go, you must know this case by watching the act.
Right.
And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, let me tell you. Hold on.
I said, sir, if you go listen to the podcast, we read some of the emails that he sent to other people while in prison. If you read those, you're going to have a really different opinion. I'm just saying.
Look, mine weren't even creepy, sexually weird like some of those others from the other girls, but mine were very just weird, insane. Please don't ever let this dude out of prison. Feeling. And
I have 3 daughters. I would never want that guy to live anywhere near any of my 3 daughters.
No.
The same.
Usually by the time when I have those people and I ask them that and then I have a conversation with them, by the time I walk away, they're like, oh, I need to go look this up. Please do.
That's what he said. That's what he said. And then he asked me, he's like, can you recommend any books? I'm like, oh God. I was like, dude, I could recommend so many dang books. I could tell you about every single one of these books in this aisle right now. But anything by John Glatt, you can't go wrong. Anything by Anne, Anne, oh Jesus, what's her secret name?
Anne Rule. Anne
Yes,
Rule.
thank you. Through Rule. Anything by Anne Rule. He's, I read the
How
one
could you forget that name? Too much wine. Cheers.
Case closed. Anne Rule, and I just got a book from Leslie, her daughter, that she signed and sent to me. So sweet, absolutely adorable. And I'm hoping we can convince her to get on the show. She will not talk about her mother's work because too many people come out and attack her if she talks about it. But Brandy and I are going to try and see if we can get her to talk about her own and maybe a little bit of the experience that she had while she was growing up, because that's just.
I want to know about her youth with knowing Ted Bundy. I'm sorry, that fascinates me. I want to know what she felt then. Were there any? Did her hair stand up on the back of her neck? Did she ever? That fascinates me.
It does. It fascinates me too.
And then, and being the daughter of a true crime writer, I want to know what that was like. I want to know her life. I want to know her journey.
She's carrying on her mother's legacy, so I think that's very interesting. Obviously, it impacted her in somewhat, I guess I would say, a good way for her to continue it on. She didn't run away from it screaming, so I hope that, and I kind of feel that way with my daughter Emily. She's joined our team and started talking with us about some of these cases and everything, and I never expected that. Like, Emily just came out of the woodwork all the time. When we lost Colleen and she left the team, when Colleen was no longer with the team, Emily saw how heartbroken it was for me, and I didn't know who was going to come back or help me or whatever. If that was, it's just going to be me, and how was that going to work? And that was before I'd really had a conversation with Brandy, and before Stella had sent in an audition tape and everything. And Emily came to me and she said, "Mom, can we do it? Can I do it with you? Can I do a night with you? Can I do some of the nights?" And I was like, okay. And I didn't think she really wanted to do it. I thought she was just doing it because of the fact that she saw me and saw how upset I was and worried and everything, because I was really worried that this was going to fall apart. And so then I asked her about it after Stella came on and Brandy came back. I was like, "Do you still want to do this?" She goes, "Yeah, I really enjoy doing this with you, Mom. I feel like it's something connecting us together."
And she's really adorable with it. It's kind of fun to watch her. And it's funny because the last phone call, one of the phone calls we had, the last thing I remember with Emily and Abby was they were fighting over who was supposed to be doing dishes. And somebody had put a glass in there.
The house is real.
And somebody was supposed to do the dishes, and then Abby was losing her mind, and Emily's kind of laughing about it and like, "Mom, can you deal with this?" Teenage girls, just saying.
And now she's a wonderful mommy of my sweet little boy. Love my little grandson so much. But if you would have told me growing up that Emily was going to be the one that did stuff like this with me, I would have laughed, because
that's let me tell you what, that's a middle child thing, because it's the same way with my middle. Same way.
She was the bane of my existence for a very long time. I did not know that child was going to make it.
Let's see. Do you want to get rid of this one? I don't know who Jack Richard is, and not sure why he wants to be ugly.
That's nice. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Nice.
Goodbye.
I mean, that's all he kept repeating. Does he not have anything else to say besides "stop talking out your ass"? I mean,
well, all right, that's fine. I mean, have a nice day, Jack Richards. Oh boy, they come out of the woodwork, don't they?
We say those two names, and they pop out. Anytime we say Gypsy or Nick, here they come.
Or who we mentioned earlier in the episode, so that we will be talking about.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot we mentioned that word.
Miss No Joy. So that's what I call her. I call her No Joy, because she don't bring any joy to my life. So I don't think she brings very much joy to anybody's life, but Anyway, I
gotta love people and their stupidity, and I hope he's still watching. Just saying.
Hi.
We love our fan club.
We do. We do. We do. But seriously, guys, we really do love that you guys are here. Do you guys have any questions? Like, seriously, you guys no questions. You've listened to me and Brandy drone on for an hour and 48 minutes and 12 seconds, and you have not asked a single question.
I'm just going to say, last week we talked for over an hour about all kinds of bullshit before we got to the case, and this week we managed to get all of it done in an hour and 48 minutes. We accomplished something. But we knew tonight was going to be off the chain because
well, we knew we were just going to shoot the shit and drink some wine.
Drinking wine.
So, yeah. Well, I mean,
and let's see. I'm looking at my alcohol content because this one is a strong one, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, 14%. Go figure.
Fun. And you know what? I'm not a lightweight by any means, but I haven't eaten much today. So this one's hitting me pretty well. I don't get drunk. I'm not a drunk. Like I used to hustle pool.
Well, it's funny because I've got my cheese in here. And every time I grab a bite of cheese, the dogs all come and look because they're supposed to have cheese when I eat.
That's like we were having shrimp earlier tonight. We had shrimp cocktail and my dogs were like looking at me like, hello, can I have some? I literally had to look it up. Abby was like, can we even give him some? I don't know. And I was like, I don't know. So we looked it up. And so we gave the dogs a bite. And the cats came over and they were like, excuse you? Like, you gave them some? What is going on here? So then I had to look up, can we give cats? Can cats have?
I am horrible. I give mine pretty much get anything I'm eating. I mean, I don't give them grapes. I don't give them the things I know are bad.
Right. I try to keep them from eating chocolate. I mean, yeah, but.
Here's the thing. That is supposed to be a bad thing for dogs. My mother had a dog. He lived to be 14, but we ate, I am not kidding you, chocolate chip cookies and milk every Saturday morning for 8 years.
Yep.
So I don't know.
I had a dog.
It didn't affect him any.
I had a dog I got when I was 2. She lived till I was 17. So, I mean, a good long time, 15 years. My mother gave that dog anything and everything in the whole wide world, including chocolate kisses. Like, she just sent her a kiss. Like, here you go. Have it. I'm like, Mom, they're not supposed to have. Well, I mean, she's been fine all these years, so I don't know. So, I mean, that dog will survive. That dog was 15 years old.
Mine love cheese. They eat cheese with me all the time, and I buy those the big bucket of cheese balls at Walmart that's like $5-6 of the little cheese, like the Cheetos, but the cheese balls.
Yeah.
I go in there and open that container, and every dog, including my cats, come running and follow me, and I have to give each one. We have this whole little routine. It's hilarious. It's awful. But anyways, I think that was all we had for tonight.
It is. Like I said, just be looking on the lookout for the tickets for Wine and Crime because you guys are really going to want to do that. Okay. I mean, that's not just an us event. That's a whole big thing. And actually the cool thing is at our Wine and Crime event, the wines that will be, they have to eat their weight in chocolate for a bit. Oh, nice. Okay. The wines that will be introduced or that will be available for sale for the Wine and Crime, they will be first time introduced we'll be premiering those products for them. They have a whole line of other products, but they are releasing brand new.
Do we know anything on what the shipping on the wine is going to be?
I do not yet. Yet. I have a meeting to set up. I got in contact with him this weekend through Cheryl. She put me in contact with him. We're supposed to talk sometime next week. I will have information about that. And then we will start to let you guys, order, and we'll start the ticket sales for those of you that don't want to order wine, or if you want to do both, you can. So whatever you want to do, we'll have all kinds of different options when that goes. But I think it's really cool that we're the first ones that are going to premiere these new wines that he is introducing. So I'm pretty excited about that. We'll be doing that. Brandy's going to start some new shows. She's going to do her Bonehead Criminals. She'll be doing the True Crime Recap, which I think you're calling it, True Crime Madness?
Either True Crime Madness, or we may do the True Crime Uncorked on this. I don't know. I'm all over the place.
I was looking at something today when I was looking for like a your intro, like for you, and I did one. It's called The Headlines, and I thought that was kind of a cute name for it too. So we'll see. you know.
Yeah, I'm all over because I have, we have so many ideas that we're working on and things we're doing, and it all runs together.
It does. I literally had to call Brandy today. Now I'm the one who started the book of the month thing. I had to call Brandy today and ask her,
And
"Hey, what did you
I called
decide?"
her the other day and I said, "Hey, I have an idea for the book of the month, and here's what we can do." And she's like, "Oh, let's do that." Woo! And then she came up with some ideas, and so we had this whole plan. And then she couldn't remember what the plan
And
was.
then I couldn't remember, so I called her and I was like, "Brandy, I don't know what we even said. What are we doing? What are we doing?" I know there was a Patreon and we were going to do this and we were going to do something, and I don't. Were we giving something away? I don't know. And when we told I was like, I don't even remember what we're doing. And so yeah, but we have the book club. We have the book of the month club.
Oh, and real quick, and we'll get the link and drop it. Stephen David Lampley, the 12 and Murdered book.
Don't do that
Those
one yet
proceeds are
because
okay.
that's going
Well,
to
all
be
those
our
proceeds are going to that case.
right. Well, and we'll do
Okay.
that, but that's actually going to be one of our book of the month clubs too, because I'm actually heading down in March to Tennessee to. I
Okay.
told you guys we were going to do the walking of the path that Kathy did that day, so that we're going to actually walk the exact course that she tried to take to get to the roller rink. Stephen invited me down to do that in sometime in March. So I'm going down there to do that. So I want to pair that with,
It's
us.
14 hours for me, so I don't think I'll make it.
Right, right. Tori and I think Tori's going to try and go with me. But I'm really honored that he invited us down. I'm honored that we're going to get to tape it and walk the scene. I'm super excited about it. I cannot begin to tell you that story is heart wrenching. If you didn't watch the interview that we did with him the other night, Brandy and I did an interview with him where we discussed a little bit about the case. And then, yes, his book is amazing. But go ahead and tell them about, I mean, you can tell them the book and everything. So that if they want to get it, we'll put a link to it. Let me go grab a link while you talk about it real quick. How about
Okay.
that?
But it's 12 and Murdered. And he has a Facebook page too. I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's not 12 and Murdered. I think it's I don't remember. But Kathy Jones, 12 years old, 1969. It's a very old case. Was murdered on her way to go skating. They don't know who. There was one man in jail that actually was charged with it, but then nothing happened with those charges. And then, I mean, but David goes into detail in the book with different suspects in stories and different things about her life. And of course, Stephen Lampley shares things on Facebook too, about that he keeps being information he keeps getting and questions and things that are sent to him about the case. I think they had a live tonight that they were doing on the case, but we already had this. And so, and he is a huge supporter to this channel and gives us a lot of information and interviews with us and helps.
Yes. Yes.
And so anything to help support him in his mission. And, he got Kathy's case when he was covering another case, and he was just grabbed by this case. Kathy picked him for this case. And I agree with that.
I
And,
agree. I agree. Well, here's the link to that book, guys. It's $4.74. I mean, that is so anything for a book.
it's a quick read, and he said he wanted it cheap as could be because he just wanted the proceeds. He wanted her story out there. He's not making any money off of this book.
No,
he makes nothing. And it's a quick read. This is not a book that's going to take you days to read. It is a very quick read, and it's be ready for tears. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, yeah. And
Just
his
going to
books
say
are
that.
really good. He's got a lot of books that are out there. He's got several others. He's got a couple coming out. He's got a couple on serial killers that are coming out, because he is a serial killer expert on a lot of different things. So, but this book, he just really did not want, he didn't want to gain anything off of it. He just wanted Kathy's story to get out there. And that's all we really want. So you guys just go buy the book. It's $4.74. You'll have it for when we do cover it in the Book of the Month Club. We will, and I'm trying to see if one person maybe gets a signed copy from Stephen. So I'm sure he's told me that he would do that before. So we'll see if he will do it again.
I'm actually going to see if he'll take mine and sign it for me because I want. I have a thing about having signed copies of books.
Me too. I like signed copies of books. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's everything for tonight. We thank you for hanging out and popping a bottle of wine with the Good Wives. And we have a lot of new things that we're going to be, putting out there for you guys. Content wise, we're also going to be, I just started doing, a true crime subscription box. There's a couple of them that I looked at. I've chose one, but there's tons of them. I'm going to do an unboxing on that, and I think the girls are going to do some stuff with me with that too. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're trying to not. I mean, yes, we talk about true crime, but I don't want it to be sad all the time. I don't want everything that we do to be heavy and hard and just awful. Like, we can have some fun too. And don't forget to check out Stella on Tuesday nights, or I'm sorry, Thursday nights.
Thursday.
Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. Lipstick, Lashes, and Lies. Those are all going to be cases of love gone wrong.
We
Brandy
are
and I
here
do
Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Mondays, Thursdays,
Tuesdays,
Fridays,
or are we doing Tuesdays
Tuesdays.
still?
I'm trying. Um, we have some difficulties getting that night off, but I'm trying to, and I think I have some ideas for it. That Tuesday night is usually our psych talk. I started taking some classes in psychology, in forensic psychology, psychology of criminals, all kinds of stuff that I'm doing. So I'm going to start talking myself about stuff. And if Amanda gets a chance to drop by with her crazy life, great. And if she doesn't, then you'll have me and maybe somebody else from the team. Who knows? But we're trying. So Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, definitely. Tuesdays, questionably. And Wednesdays, of
And
course, we
because we didn't do last night, me and Fancy will be finishing up Amber Hill Rolling this Friday.
yes. And we will be doing crime of the month. We're going to be going into Dirty John Meehan. But we also are going to have Brandy join us this Monday, and we're going to do what we had planned on doing when I ended up in the hospital, which was the suicide awareness prevention wrap up.
That was this week. I almost went to the hospital.
Right,
Last week was
right.
you. This week was me.
That's right. That's right. So we're going to do that wrap up, and then we'll go right into, we're going to do the intro for John Meehan right behind it. So we're not even going to break or anything. We're just going to go from the suicide awareness wrap up to this. And so we'll just stay on, and we'll do one whole show on Monday that has both, and then we'll go on. So,
Hey,
and
Tori said, don't forget the giveaway with the book of the month. Did we miss that?
I
Or did
think
you
we
say
told
it and we?
about it earlier, but let me go ahead and say it again. So if you join our Patreon club in the month of March, so that's from March 1st through March 31st, and if you join today or tomorrow, we're gonna count that too. But anytime before March 31st, okay, so from now to March 31st, if you join, you'll be entered to win one of our future true crime books, and we're going to try and see if we can actually make that a signed book. But we can't promise that, but we're just saying, with the people that we
That's
work
our
with, we're going to
goal.
try.
That's
Our
our
goal
goal.
is to get you guys a signed book and a little tiny mini at-home spa package. Tori's working on that. That's something that she's doing. We're really excited about it. So it's something that she
And just
brought.
so you know, I'm probably ordering some of that spa. I'm just saying.
Oh, I know. I know. It's spa CBD, guys. Like, this is a really good stuff, high quality, really good stuff. We're very excited about it. So, and Tori brought that to us as a sponsorship situation. We're very excited. It is our first sponsor that we have. Very, very, very happy about that. Um, and we'll be going from there, guys. But I'm going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. I know we do a lot on this channel, but if there's anything else you still guys are wondering about or wanting to know, or questions or cases or any of that, just hit us up at goodwivesdish@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at True Crime Wives. Same thing on Facebook. We also have a second Facebook, which is NBD True Crime. And then if you want to catch everything that we pretty much do all in one, go to madgingerentertainment.com. And then we're just working on stuff every day, guys, for you. That's what we do. We do true crime. That's it. And we just want to bring these stories to you. We have our second podcast that we're working on with Todd. Yes, it's been hard to get that one going because we have had scheduling issues, but it's really an important podcast. I really enjoy doing it with him. He is the former director of NAMUS and the Doe Project. We have something coming up with the Charlie Project that we're working on. I mean, we've got lots of good stuff coming. So you guys are going to keep coming back. So if you are watching us on Facebook, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up and click subscribe, so that, or is it notifications? It's notifications. Click the notifications so that you can get all of our true crime content. If you're viewing us on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because then you will be always notified when we go live or we upload anything new to the channel, and you're not going to want to miss the stuff that we have coming. So alrighty, guys, have a wonderful Saturday night. Thank you for spending the time drinking with us and shooting the shit. And Brandy, you want to say anything else?
Nope. Have a good one. I mean, here we are. We have survived winter. Maybe.
Maybe. Knock on wood.
Texas
Dear
had
God,
an
what are you
Arctic
talking
freeze.
about? What are you talking
know.
about? Dude, we have still snow on the ground.
It was
guys.
76 here today.
It was 40 something here.
Yeah, insane. Just insane.
Anyway, guys, love you all. Thank you for tuning in and writing this out with
Enjoy
us.
your
Have
Saturday night, guys.
Have a good one from the Good Wives, serving up true crime one dish at a time. Bye.